Hi friends, it's Jess with our Bipolar. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, just a little bit about me. I have bipolar 1. I was diagnosed about 24 years ago. So yeah, I'm pretty old. But today I'm back. I wanted to talk about the lifestyle choices, some not so great lifestyle choices that I made when I was actually on good meds, and like the meds were doing well, but I wasn't doing as well as I should have been. And so I think these are the reasons why I was still having more mania, more depression than I should have. But before we dive right into that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, so I would love to do that. Also, if you could like this video, if you like my content, and also comment. I love all the comments, love responding to all the comments, so do that too. Okay, so let's dive right into it. As I said, I have been diagnosed bipolar 1 for a really long time. And when I was first diagnosed, for the first 8 years, I was on meds that actually were not helping me at all. Actually, they were probably hurting me. They were exacerbating my bipolar symptoms. So I was having a lot of rapid cycling, and I was having, I was constantly cycling between mania and depression. I was on a mood stabilizer, and I was also on an antidepressant. At the time, people with bipolar 1 should not be on an antidepressant because it can cause mood cycling. So then after those 8 years, I was in my later 20s, and I got on a different mood stabilizer, which actually for me was like a wonder drug. I suddenly was doing much better. I was having all this stability. In the bipolar world, we call that euthymia. So I was doing really well, compared to how I was doing before. But I was still having some mood disturbances, and I was like, why is this happening? I should be doing better than I am. So these are the reasons why. Number 1, I was staying up way too late. I wanted to be able to go out with my friends, go to clubs, and stay up late. It wasn't unheard of to stay up until 4 or 5 in the morning sometimes. There were also nights I was just staying up way too late and I wasn't going out. I would just for no reason, stay up watching TV or a movie until midnight, kind of normal things that people do. But those weren't things that I could do because I have bipolar. So I wasn't getting enough sleep. I wasn't going to bed at the same time each night. And I really think that was hurting me. I think that was the number 1 reason I was still having so much cycling. Okay. Reason number 2, lifestyle choice that was not good for me, was drinking alcohol. Again, lots of people do this. It's fine for you to do it probably, you know your own body, but for me, this was not great. Now, there have been studies that show that alcohol use people with bipolar can cause more mood cycling, and I don't know if that is exactly what was going on, but it was causing me problems that could then lead to these mood episodes. So for instance, like most people do, if you're drinking, I was not an excessive drinker ever. I probably would have at most 2 or 3 drinks when I went out with friends. I never drank outside of that. I never drank by myself. I never just, sat around and watched TV and had a glass of wine. It's fine if you do that. More power to you, but this just wasn't something that I ever did. So I was only drinking when I went out, and, probably wasn't even every single weekend. It wasn't that cool. But the drinking led to problems with sleep. I think it did cause sleep disturbances. I think, I would be hungover. I know some people in their 20s don't have hangovers, but I did. So I would be hungover and I would be tired, and I think it would just lead to kind of bad choices. It kind of went hand in hand with staying up too late, was the drinking. Okay, lifestyle choice number 3, that was not great for me. Okay, take this with a grain of salt, but number 3, marijuana use. Now, before we even get into that, I have probably smoked marijuana, I don't know, a handful of times in my life, not very often at all. But it was something that I did, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because one time after I had started this new mood stabilizer that was working so great for me, I told my psychiatrist about it because I had no idea that it could cause a problem. And he immediately told me that I shouldn't do that. And he explained to me that for people with bipolar, smoking weed can bring on more mania, more depression. Maybe this is not the case for you. Maybe you have bipolar and you can smoke weed and it helps you. I think everyone's different. But for me, once I heard that, I was doing this so infrequently that I just thought, I'm not going to do this anymore. There's absolutely no reason for me to keep doing this since I do it so rarely. And I want to do everything I can to, have the best life and the fewest mood episodes. So I just completely cut it out of my life. Okay. Reason number 4 is a little controversial, but number 4, the lifestyle choice I was making that was causing problems is I had a group of friends who, like to do all of these things that I was doing. They like to go out, they like to drink, probably even more often than I did. Wasn't drug use happening with any of my friends. But first 2, yes, definitely, and probably much more than me. And what happened was with these friends, there started to be a lot of problems, kind of issues, because they were used to me going out with them and drinking with them and acting, more like they did. And then suddenly once I realized that these were problems, I didn't want to do that anymore, or at least not as much. Or if I did go out, I wanted to come home earlier. And my friends were good people, really sweet girls, but they had a hard time understanding. Like I felt like peer pressure, peer pressure a little bit. And that was hard for me. I did write a blog about how, bipolar eventually sort of led me away from these friendships. And it was a sad break, but I think it was probably necessary. But so that's my 4th lifestyle choice that, was sort of hurting me. I was sort of thwarting all the efforts of this medicine. This medicine was doing so well for me. That was like a miracle drug. And actually, I'm still on that medicine to this day. I did want to mention one lifestyle choice that I made that was actually wonderful for my stability, my euthymia, and that was meeting Brian, who is now my husband. I met him at the exact same time all this was happening, and, changed my life. We have a daughter now, but he did provide so much stability in my life. He wasn't really big on drinking or going out late. Like, he just wanted to spend time with me and kind of do whatever I could do. And that's what I needed at that time. I needed just someone who was there, who was willing to kind of go along with what I had to do in my lifestyle And that was a really wonderful thing. So, all right. Thank you for being here, watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again. Bye.